That's right, I see the chat. I see y'all rocking. I see y'all coming. Hit that like button as you enter the building. You know what I'm saying? Hit that like button. Show your love. Show your support. You know what I'm saying? This that dope soul. This that new thing. Nobody don't know about it. You know what I'm saying? Hit that like button. Show your love. Show your support.
Salute, Knicks family, and welcome to another Thursday night edition of the Dope Soul Sports Talk of the, Just Nicking It show on Dope Soul Sports Talk. As you can see, we have a panel, a nice little panel tonight, and Queen, who's on vacation, find a way to show up. So, and we really appreciate it, Queen, and for showing up while you're on vacation. Because have I ever done? Yeah, I think I've done that, but it's nice of you to do that. Because you've been at this like all week, like for all year, every week, all year. You only get 2 weekends off, and then you still manage to come on, man. That's huge. So we appreciate you. But Geoff and I and Jerrell and Delusional, we had it covered. But you reinforced.
You were sounding a little nervous, AJ. You were sounding a little nervous. I said, all right, let me log on for a little bit.
Nah. You see, I got the green thing going on tonight, so I was ready to roll. How you guys feeling?
Yeah, salute, man. I wanted to, first and foremost, I wanted to just say salute to Geoff and AJ. They've been really, really holding it down these past few weeks, man. They've been holding it down.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, 100%. It's the dog days of the season, definitely.
Yep.
It's the toughest time. And Jerrell, thanks for being here, man, because we know it's Thursday night football. Delusional. Yep. We know you got your stuff going on, and you come on, man. Listen, Geoff, as always, a pleasure to talk with you and learn from you, because we're going to be talking about some of the cap space and some of those contracts and some of that good stuff. So, get ready to get some of that stuff. So cool. in Knicks news, I'm sure like everybody listening right now knows that the Knicks finally signed the last piece to the puzzle. They re-signed Landry Shamet for a 1-year minimum veteran deal, which is pretty much all they could do. I don't know why it took them so long, and a lot of the fan base was also hoping that that we went in that direction. So, what do you guys think? How do you guys feel about this? Because we speculated that they had many options. They had not many options, but they had some options, right? They talked about Ben Simmons. They talked about Landry Shamet. They talked about a couple of other ones, but even Seth Curry at the end, they came into the picture. Some people were talking about that. So how do you guys feel about Landry Shamet? Queen, we'll start with you, because I know you don't have a whole lot of times to be hanging out with us. So start with you. What do you think about that, Queen? About Landry coming on, bringing Landry Shamet back on?
Yeah, I have mixed feelings. You guys can hear me okay?
You're perfect.
Okay. I have mixed feelings about it. I like Landry Shamet. As you know, I was tooting his horn last year. And you can never have enough shooters. I don't know. I just feel like it's a duplication, right? We got Clarkson, we got Deuce, we got now we have Shamet, and they all do a little something different. Like Deuce is a better defender, Clarkson is a better scorer, Shamet is I think a good defender, good shooter. I actually would have liked another ball handler on this team, but I'm not mad at Shamet. I think they tried to do other things. Looks like they weren't able to do it. That being said, I think Shamet is going to have one of his best seasons yet. I think the shoulder injury last year and the inconsistent playing time, some of it which was on his own because he just wasn't shooting well. But then when he did get his groove, like his minutes was inconsistent. I think he's going to have a really, really good year for us. But how much is he gonna play? I don't know. I just would have preferred another ball handler, but I'm not mad at Shamet signing.
Queen, do you think? I know you say it's a duplication, and I agree with you to a certain extent, but don't you feel like Shamet bring a little more to the table than guys like a little more in terms of it? So so let's say defensively, right? I think he's more of like he plays defense with more passion than let's say somebody like well, not like,
Clarkson.
but yes,
Clarkson.
yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So, and he may not be as good a 3-point shooter, or he may be. Who knows? He may have a good year where he shoots, because Landry Shamet, we've seen him have good seasons before, so he may
Yes.
be a better option than Clarkson. We don't know. I mean, we know he's better defensively. I mean, it could be a situation where Landry Shamet, you know, the last signee of the team, and is the one that comes save the team. Geoff, what do you think of Landry Shamet?
Well, first of all, I want to salute to the chat because they stole my thunder here a little bit with their shrewd comments, but I wouldn't get too attached to Landry Shamet. He is signed to a non-guaranteed contract. It's going to be a 1-year deal, which means that we can waive him at any time without any penalty. In addition to that, we signed Garrison Matthews to a similar deal. Matthews played in Atlanta last year. He's a 38% career 3-point shooter. He played his college ball at Lipscomb in Tennessee. 38% shooter on higher volume from 3, not good from 2-point range, but provides a lot of the same things. And of course, he's 6'5", because the Knicks have a rule that they're not allowed to sign anybody who's 6'6" or taller for some reason. But it really does seem like these two guys are going to be competing for that final roster spot, unless there's a consolidation trade. And I know I've been saying consolidation trade for so long, y'all are probably sick of me saying it at this point, but I think that's a possibility. But I think that this was kind of just done to make sure that we have someone that we like in the building. And, you know, Shamet's only 6'4", but he showed that he's tough. He's strong, and he's a willing defender, if not a capable one. And you know, he's a good shooter for his career. And Matthew's skill set is very similar also. So I think that unless something else crawls out of the woodwork, I think these two guys are going to be competing for that final roster spot. And only one of them can get it because we only had the one spot available. The other one's got to go to somebody who's never played in the NBA before, whether it be Diawara or you know, somebody else. So don't be surprised if these two moves tell me a couple of things. One, I think they're very comfortable with Jordan Clarkson in the role as a backup point guard, because otherwise you're not signing multiple shooting guards who shoot 40% from 3 and don't do much else, right? So that leads me to believe that they're pretty comfortable with Clarkson as the backup at the 1. And then it also says that they really feel like they need more support at that 2 spot, which I don't know if that means more Bridges at the 3, which is more of a natural position for him, I think, anyway. But and you know, so I'm not really sure how it's going to shake out. But you know, if this was an exam, they wrote this in the lightest number 2 pencil possible. This is not written in ink by any stretch of the imagination. So if you're upset with the deal, don't fret over it too much. If you know, I think part of the deal with Shamet too is that he's shown that he's willing to sit, right? Like we can kind of put him in a break in case of emergency kind of a situation. And obviously based upon, you know, the contract, he's comfortable with that. So that's my take on it.
Yeah, great points, Jeff.
Yeah, I didn't know it was like a training camp invite. I thought they kind of gave him a 1-year guarantee. I didn't know it was done. Okay.
I didn't know that either. Go ahead, Delusional.
I don't think it's a training camp. I think Garrison Matthews is a training camp deal.
Oh, okay.
Shamet is a 1-year vet minimum deal, but
Yeah,
Jeff, you're saying it's not guaranteed.
Correct. And there's a little bit of a difference between those two things contractually, but they both boil down to vet men, you know, not set in stone contracts. So that's my understanding from some of the sources that I've seen. So if I've misconstrued the situation, I apologize, but that's my understanding of how both deals are kind of structured at this point.
Okay, Jerrell, what do you think?
Oh, I thought you said Delusional was going to go because he had
Okay.
Oh no, I'm just coming back. You know, I've been on a hiatus. Like I said, I had a
Delusional
so
Rusty.
I can't come in. Look, they brought in Frank Ntilikina, and he ain't playing a while. He got cooked. So,
well, honestly, I think it's much ado about nothing. A little uneventful. I don't think it's maybe it might be a little coincidence that Ben Simmons' agent dropped him. And then the next day we signed Landry Shamet. I think we wanted Ben Simmons, and he doesn't want to play basketball. So we went with the person. It's a relationship business. I think they always had Landry Shamet in the tuck. They really wanted Ben Simmons, and that didn't come about. So they signed Landry Shamet to a guaranteed deal. So I don't know, a little uneventful. I'm not really excited, or
it doesn't move the needle.
Yeah, it doesn't move the needle. It's not like I hate Landry Shamet. He's cool, but I don't.
Right.
Doesn't move me either way.
Okay, but you said so. Ben Simmons officially said he don't want to play basketball.
Well, it's not like he don't want to play, but the Knicks it was reported that the Knicks contacted him, and he didn't want anything to do with us. So his because of that, his agent dropped him.
The nerve of him.
So that means that if he didn't want anything to do with us, he probably doesn't have any more options. So he probably just does not want to play basketball anymore. Or if he did, he doesn't want to play for the minimum. And he's not good enough to get more than that right now. So it is what it is.
Interesting. Delusional. What do you think?
I was with Jerrell on this one. I was a huge advocate and I was getting destroyed on one of my shows regarding it about Ben Simmons. He really can plug and play at every position, to be honest with you, on this team. And I seem that we need to have a backup forward, so if OG goes out, who's going to start at the 3 or the 4, depending on the lineup? Who's going to be the bulk of the minutes to be that main defender of the forwards? And Ben Simmons, what we saw with him and on the Clippers was guarding 5s, was guarding 4s, was guarding 3s, and was a big body that was able to maneuver and, of course, run the offense if need be. That could have been our secondary ball handler that we so desperately need. But like you said, maybe that could be Clarkson. Who knows? But I was okay with the Landry signing, mainly for his defense. Tibbs did have him running on 2 guards, point guards, and even small forwards. So he's shown the ability to be aggressive, getting above the screens, and knocking down the shots. So I was okay. I would have been okay if we even brought back Wright. Someone who's also a big point guard, someone that could play D and knock down an occasional shot, and maintain ball handling. Not necessarily a great ball handler, but maintain it. But now that I hear that it's a non-guaranteed, I'm even more elated because moves could be made out of that. Let's just say if another player that comes up that we're like, okay, man, we can't get him because we don't have no money. Sorry, training camp goes, we could probably release Landry or bring him down to the G League again. Our organization are masterful when it comes to finding out these nuances here and there to bring a player on. So I feel good. And for the last 7 years, I believe he's been over 40 from 3. You always need shooting. It's just where he's going to play at. And then of course this is the end of the line bench player. So what can we expect for him just to be an insurance player anyway? What is a good insurance player?
I mean, let's talk about this, right? So in terms of where is he gonna play, right? So because you have him and you have Deuce. I know as the fan base, we love Deuce McBride and we value him a lot. But I don't know if the rest of the NBA does. I don't know if Mike Brown's gonna come in and think of Deuce McBride like Tom Thibodeau thought of him. So do you think somebody like Landry Shamet, who's absolutely more experienced in the league, he plays good, very good defense, and he's a more reliable shooter, I would say, do you think that Deuce McBride's going to get more minutes than he is?
I think so.
Yeah.
The league has to know about Deuce McBride. This man, he's on a scouting report. So if you own a scouting report in the NBA, you obviously the teams are definitely looking out for you. So I believe Deuce will play more minutes than Landry, 100%. Like you said, I think the mix with Deuce and Clarkson as that front court on a bench, it's needed together. Because like you said, either or, Deuce could bring the ball up. Don't necessarily have to dribble, in and out and break down the defense, but just primary bring the ball up, set up the offense while Clarkson coming off a screen. Easy. So with this offense that we're about to see, this going to be totally different than what we've had in the previous years. Just think D'Antoni on steroids, to be honest with you. So we're not really going to have that many dribble or ball sticking as much if the guys are reluctant to be to play the offense that I know he wants to. So it'll be a total different offense. So I think they can work, to be honest with you.
I can't wait to see this. Queen, what do you think? I mean, I can't wait to see this high octane Mike D'Antoni offense that we're talking about. I don't think that's what it's gonna be, but listen, I trust you. I take your word for it. Queen, what do you think?
Yeah, I think Deuce is going to get more playing time than Shamet as well. But at the same time, I do think Shamet is going to have a better year than he had last year. The shoulder injury is behind him. I think he's going to come in. He's a career 39% shooter, if I'm not mistaken. So I think he's going to have a good year. Is it a possibility? If he's shooting lights out, that he surpasses Deuce in minutes, it's possible, but I do think Deuce will get more minutes than him. But to comment on Delusional when it comes to the offense and it being free flowing, Brunson is Brunson, and I don't think he might dribble maybe one or two dribbles less. You know what I mean? But his game is his game, and that's when he's at his best. So I don't know if you want to just make him into somebody who's just gonna catch it and move it, move it along. I'm not sure that'll be his game, but I do think he'll be a little quicker in his moves and his decision making than he was last year. And an offense in terms of its dynamism can only be as dynamic as the players and their willingness to to buy in. So I'm with Ajay. I'm looking forward to what this offense and defense is going to look like.
I am, because I don't see that we have the players that could run and gun the way other teams have. I mean, we have Josh Hart can. I don't Karl Anthony Towns not going to be running and gunning. Jalen Brunson, like you said, he's going to dribble. He's not going to not dribble the ball. That's his game. I don't see OG Anunoby as a fast guy. His advantage with OG Anunoby, he's usually ahead of the pack. Not that he's fast, but he's usually like a couple of steps ahead. I don't know. I take Delusional's word for it, but I can't wait to see it. I would love for them to implement it and see what we can get out of that.
So now don't forget, little run and gun is 24 seconds on the shot clock. We're probably getting a shot off at maybe 19 seconds. At the 19 seconds, we got shot up, 18, 16, rather than, before when we kind of getting those things off with the ball going in right at the buzzer. So it's just more quicker shots and getting their sets in a little quicker. Don't forget, Cat's going to be trailing a lot. So those are threes that's going up with 20 seconds left on the clock. So it might be a lot more of those.
So you're basically talking about a faster pace on offense and putting using less of the shot clock as opposed to being like a fast break team.
Correct.
And you're saying that that's going to be like our primary offense, or like be like more situational?
More situational. Like it'll vary obviously during the gameplay. But yeah,
Delusional. That's different. Like situational. Yes, that's gonna happen. I'm positive that's gonna happen.
We rarely did that. You know, there's certain moments where, like you said, the second unit was a little faster, was pacing more pace. But even with JB, remember when JB was in Dallas, he was kind of off ball and his percentage was high. So that's another aspect that's going to be utilized a lot more. So that's going to be
who's going to
even
be
quicker
handling the
shot
ball
distance,
though?
so.
When he was off ball, Luka was handling the ball, right?
Correct.
I'm not sure who else they had. Who do you think would be handling the ball to put JB
You
in
got
this?
Mikal. Mikal could bring us some sets.
I hope you're right. I
Well,
would
remember
really love that.
Christmas game showed me a lot about Mikal Bridges that we should have utilized tons of times with him bringing the ball up, running a pick and roll. Either he was keeping it or he was passing it out. So that Christmas game showed me a lot that I'm like, why we didn't utilize it a lot more. Remember, I've always referenced that Christmas game with him.
Yeah, I agree with that. But was that a flash, or is that something he can do consistently? We'll see. You know, let's see if Mike Brown puts him in that position, and let's see what he does with that position, right?
And Clarkson would be on the floor a lot more too.
With Brunson, you think?
Yeah. Oh, you have to utilize that.
Wow. Defense be damned. Okay. All right. Okay.
Hey,
Queen, we gonna have the defense on lock. We're gonna be up by 30 by the time that happens anyway. Dynamic offense this year, guys. Dynamic offense.
We gonna be up 30.
Look at the coaches that we brought on this team. I don't mean to kind of take over. You know, I ain't been on a while, so I haven't got my thoughts out.
It's fine.
But look at the coaches that we brought on this team. Great offensive minds. Great coaches that won. Now, granted, it is on G League terms, you know, but they still won. It's Summer League terms, but you still won. So it's gonna be dynamic. It's gonna be dynamic.
They don't call him delusional for
Yeah,
nothing.
this is why I like Delusional. Delusional said we gonna be up 30. Don't even worry about it.
Don't even
I
worry.
mean,
Look,
Don't even worry about it.
I do have outlandish takes, but at the end of the day, sometimes I be hitting. I talked about the Eastern Conference Finals. Y'all looked at me crazy. I talked about the 50 wins. Y'all looked at me crazy. I'm a little bit, but I be hitting every now and then, you know. And what they said, I'm right 60% of the time. I'm right.
Delusional make me look like negative Nelly,
Right?
and I'm optimistic.
Yeah,
What do you
I think the offense
Jeff?
will be better, but
Jeff, what do you think?
Yeah, the offense better be better. I mean, we brought in all the guys we brought in were offensive players. Like we brought in Jordan Clarkson, we brought in.
Oh man, we lost Jeff when he was about to hold me down.
Oh, I was like,
I
did
thought
I
it
freeze?
was me.
I thought it was me.
Like, oh, my.
Jeff froze up. Delusional. I didn't sabotage this. Delusional. It had nothing to do with
He was about to support me.
You good now, Jeff? You moving?
Oh, okay. Well, my internet is bad. I'm in the country. What are you gonna do? But I just, you know, they better be better. I mean, Gershon Yabusele primary thing is a stretch 4, stretch 5 kind of a player. Clarkson is a spark plug off the bench, 6 man who's not known for his defense. So you bring in guys like that, you're leaning into the offense. So, and really, I think all of us would kind of agree that after Christmas Day or it's in January, the offense kind of was average at best. Like, is that fair to say? Like, it wasn't. We weren't killing it offensively for the last 4 months of the year, and you know, some people blame Thibodeau for that, or you know, whatever you want to do. But I do think that you will see different offensive philosophy. But you know, Princeton cuts, backdoor cuts, those kinds of things, you'll see a lot of that stuff too, which doesn't necessarily have to be a pace thing, right? I think it's incumbent upon Mike Brown to find the rhythm of this team, right? I'm not sure we have the athletes to be like a run and gun team. I think that probably even with our guys, we're probably better served, generally speaking, to be a slower paced team. Not to say that we can't have our spurts and our moments, and design some lineups where we can do that. But I don't know that kind of run and gun is really this team's identity, because I don't really see either one of our superstars really being a ideal match for that. Like, Cat is not, in my opinion, that kind of a player, and I'm not sure Brunson really is either. But Brunson a little bit more difficult to tell, because it just seems like he's one of those guys can play any old way. You know what I mean? He just hasn't really been asked to do that. But again, as Queen says, his game is predicated a lot on what he does with the dribble and in the half court, and with the way that he has to set up his shots because of his size. All of those things, come into play when you're talking about him. So I'm not sure that the Mike D'Antoni, 7 seconds or less is what we're going to see. I do think that we will shoot a little bit faster in the shot clock, but maybe like 18 seconds or less, which isn't exactly Speedy Gonzalez, but it isn't Slowpoke Rodriguez either.
I can see that.
Delusional. That's what I'm saying. I don't see the personnel to do that. I mean, our best running player is Josh Hart, but he's not. He don't gun. He run, but he don't gun, or at least not consistently.
We're saying that because, like you said, we haven't seen our players in these positions because they played a certain way under Coach Tibbs. So let's just see. We got whole new coaches, whole new philosophy. Let's see what occurred. I mean, from watching my eyes, y'all brought about OG. I said OG is best in a fast break. When he has the ball and he's attacking downhill, we rarely utilize that. And I want to say a lot of the times when he's going down and he's freight training, it's either and one or he's getting to the free throw line. So I saw that myself, and I'm like, okay, we could do that more often. And we're going to utilize the bench. So these guys are not playing the high 40 minutes. So they can exert and utilize some of that energy during that stretch, during that time period. But like I said, we wouldn't know until maybe I got a little inside. I don't know.
But Delusional, just for clarification, are you talking about the Knicks in the half court playing with more pace, moving the ball quicker, cutting, shooting earlier in the shot clock? Or are you talking about the Knicks being more of a fast break team? Because if you're talking about optimistic fast breaking at times, I can see that. I can see that with Bridges. I can see that with OG. I can see that
Josh Hart.
With Hart, like really pushing the ball down. And if there's others down, getting down with him, Cat trailing. I can see that opportunistically. I can't see that as like every possession, the Knicks bussing it, bussing it down the court. That part I don't see, but I do see them once they get in the half court. And we saw this the first, I don't know how many games before the All-Star break, right? Ball movement, backdoor cuts, spacing, scoring easily. That's what I'm looking forward to coming back. And when other teams make the adjustment, Mike Brown making the adjustment to keep that offense flowing. Whether that's schematically or roster-wise.
And I feel like we did that last year. Like when the opportunity presented itself, if there is a fast break to be had, we push the ball. And I mentioned Josh Hart. Like if he's a one-man fast break machine, if he was pushing the ball and nobody else come with him, guess what? He takes it all away. He don't wait for nobody. And I think that's another thing, Delusional. That's like testament that those guys, they're not really looking to push, because even when we had the opportunity last year, when Joshua was pushing the ball, he was literally up there by himself. Everybody fell back. Everybody like, man, it's just you're on your own with that pushing, running, and gunning stuff. They let him have at it. So I don't, just like you, Queen, I don't see that and Geoff, I don't see that we have the personnel to do that. And I hope, Delusional, I hope you're right. And I hope you have a little, insight and somebody telling you something that we don't know about. And it'd be a great surprise it'd be a nice welcome, to see that we're gonna be a high scoring team. Hopefully, because our defense is not gonna be it's not gonna be one of the best defense in the league.
Why not? Why not?
Because we don't have.
So
good
what? Hold up,
defensive
delusional. So we're gonna be a dynamic, fast break,
No, so
D'Antoni team,
okay,
and we can also be a Pat Riley defense. Like we're
you
gonna have it all.
all right. So cut the fast break out. I'm saying we'd be a high dynamic offense. So I
Okay,
guess
I agree
you're
with
kind of
that.
sticking on the
I
fast
agree
break.
with that.
So it'll be a fast dynamic offense. Rather like Brunson don't have to bring the ball up every possession. We come up is literally possibly like an Iverson cut. The first person catch that ball, get that shot up if it's a clean look, and then get back on D. Everything will be intentional depending on the matchup of what we have. Like we would play intentional offense. It will not necessarily just be a free roll of like, okay, we're gonna run our sets. No, it would be meticulous to whatever defensive play they got on us. We're gonna counter that. Whoever is going to be on a defensive end that they can mismatch and go for it, we're gonna go at it quick and early. So it's one of those situations. So yes, there might be opportunity with one play. We come down three. It's 20 seconds on the clock. We get a shot off, come back, play defense, come back. Now we might hold it, let Brunson go to work, drop it down. It's 2 seconds left on the clock, but then come back up the next possession. We get it up at 22. So it'll be a nice rhythm. Definitely, I guess when I said D'Antoni on steroids, I guess everybody thought that, yes, the 7 seconds or less aspect. I'm just figuring that there will be sets that are more quicker with more intent, and everybody in a positions and spot know what's going on. And we can operate from any position, whether it's Cat that's bringing the ball up. OG knows what position to be at and what corner. He knows what area, rather than them looking at JB to call a play, or rather than they're looking at the coach to kind of run a play, because they know what position and what spots they're in to instantly run a set to where it's quicker. Similar to the triangle offense. Everybody know where they're out on the floor. They can get to their spot and they can just run it. Phil Jackson's on the bench like this. They know what to do. So that's primary what I'm talking about. Then there was another situation we were saying. What other thing I was supposed to defend? I totally forgot.
You were talking about how the
defense.
Knicks are going to be a
Defense.
really good defense.
Yes.
What would your guess be in terms of defensive rating, points, points defended per?
Where did we finish off last year?
I think 14, I want to say.
14. Okay, we would definitely be better than 14. I would either say cracking the 11 or top 10.
Wow. That would be great. I will also say part of that 14 though was Brunson missed a significant amount
Yes.
of time. And so when he was out, now you had Deuce McBride in helping the defense. So I do think that defensive rating was helped by Brunson missing as many games as he did.
But also Mitch missed like 70 games in the regular season too. So I think you do have to, like, I'm not saying Robinson is the, solution to all of our defensive woes, but he certainly does help some of them. I don't know how many games he's going to play, but he didn't play in very many especially during the regular season last year. So, if you get 45, 50 games out of him, you could probably expect, he has defensive player of the year potential, in my opinion. I've always thought that. So he can be a disruptor and help that unit tremendously in the minutes that he's out on the court. So I think that is something that we need to look at also.
And can I state this? Sorry, go ahead, Queen. No, go ahead.
I just want to say this really quick. The dynamic offensive lineups are not going to be the great defensive lineups. And the great defensive lineups are not going to be the dynamic offensive lineups. So it's not like we have a team that's full of a bunch of two-way players. And so whatever combination you put on the floor, the offense is going to be dynamic and the defense is going to be great at the same time. Like, that's just not this team, or if it is, I don't see it. I see it where if you got Robinson and Deuce, in there, The offense may not be as dynamic, but the defense is going to be solid. Then when you have your best offensive team in there, the offense is going to be really dynamic, and you hoping the defense is going to be solid. So when we're talking about a top five offense, which I think the Knicks should lean into their offense. Like that's their identity. You didn't bring Cat here to be a number five defensive team. You knew what it is when you leaned into Cat. You knew what it is when you brought in Yabusele and when you brought in Clarkson. You knew what you knew what it was. So I think they do need to lean into that. But I think those lineups, you're not going to have that dynamic offense and that tough defense um, at the same time. So I don't see the Knicks being a top 10 defense. I think if the Knicks can be, I wouldn't be shocked, but I wouldn't put my money on that. I think if the Knicks could be um, 12 to 14 and that offense is a 3 or above, I think they're in a good place.
Just real quick, some stats. We were 5th in offense last year. And just like Steph said, we was tied for like 13 or 14 with the Pacers on defense and ranked 8th total net rating. So
And that fifth offensive rating is heavily skewed by uh, how our offense looked prior to the All-Star break. After the All-Star break,
right.
the Knicks offensive rating was 17. Was it that low? The Knicks offensive rating after the All-Star break wasn't top 10.
Brunson missed all of his games though, also during that stretch too. Like that, didn't he? You take your point guard out of the lineup, that you kind of expect that number to crash some, especially when we didn't really have, a legitimate starting point guard to replace him, in my opinion. So
I mean, but I hear what you're saying, Jeff.
Now she froze.
Uh-oh, look, the vacation calling queen. What's going on?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
you
know.
good now. You good now.
Yeah. I hear what you're saying, Jeff, and I agree. But I think the number one issue why our offense tanked was because of the adjustment that was made, putting the wing on Cat and the lack of adjustments we made. And everybody talks about, oh, this is Josh Hart's fault that they were able to put the center on him, and he's getting a lot of flack. But not enough blame going to the scheme and to Cat, like not really going to Cat and having him take advantage of that wing, so that coach has to make a decision that we just can't keep our wing on Cat. Right? If you allow that to happen and you don't take advantage of it, they're going to continue to do it. And I think Josh Hart got a lot of heat for that. But I think the scheme and what we did, not having a plan, the adjustment to the adjustment, when teams did that, what was our move? And there were some things we would do about bringing Josh Hart into the pick and roll, but we just didn't do it consistently enough so that teams could not do that. And I think that's what tanked our offensive rating more so than, and I think to your point, Jeff, Brunson being out the number of games he was, I mean, that didn't help.
All right. Well, can I defend my defensive situation? So, and you brought up a valid point, Queen, was the scheming aspect, right? We also brought in some defensive head coaches as well. So this will be a joint combination going forward. This is not going to be a dictatorship of where it's Tibbs' way and that's it. This is going to be a joint unit of actual coaches coming together and game planning together and adjusting during games, which is going to be a big difference, which is why I really have high expectations with this team this year, is the fact that we will have multiple brains in the unit game planning together rather than just one person. Because I guarantee you a lot of our coaches probably told Tibbs, hey, Tibbs, maybe we should. Obviously, whatever he thought might work, but ultimately Tibbs might go with what he likes, which is why a lot of the individuals that we had on the bench were disciples of Tibbs. So it's not like they're probably going to overthrow Tibbs and say, hey, no, let's force and let's do this. It's Tibbs' way. Now we have a group of individuals that's going to come together, better minds, and hopefully that's better results. Hopefully.
Do you think roster matters though when it comes to defense, or do you think scheme matters most?
I think coaching matters more
Than the ability of a player on defense?
I don't think Tim Duncan and Tony Parker win those championships without Greg Popovich and the motion offense. I think Shaq and Kobe do not win championships without Phil Jackson in a triangle.
I'm not talking about on the offensive end. I understand what you're saying.
And
I don't think the Knicks have the top 10 defensive players. So my question is, do you think scheme can override the fact that Brunson and Cat are poor defenders? Yabusele is not great. Clarkson is not great, to elevate this team to a not an adequate defensive team, which I think they can be, but you said a top 10 team. So I guess my question is, do you feel scheme makes that much difference when you have players who are not known as defensive players and are not even known as defensive players, are liabilities on defense?
I do. Don't forget when Cat was in Minnesota, look at Minnesota, top 10 defense, right? And they had a dominant center. They had a dominant wing, which I think OG is a better wing than I forgot his name. They had their point guard, who's an older guy. I think Brunson and them are similar on the defensive end. What is his name? The point guard. Yeah, I know who I'm
Conley.
Correct. But they were a top 10 defense with Cat there. It's schemes. It's putting your players in a position. Hey, if this is happening, I need you here. I need you to cover this in, and we're there. Tibbs' defense was a little different. And the issue with that was there was plenty of times that Cat was out of position in the plays. Sometimes he's in the drop coverage when they need him to come up, which was easy shooting. So now we know, okay, let's create a scheme that kind of works for the players that you have, rather than a coach demanding this is how we play or players reluctant to play in that scheme. But I think scheme for me, it's any given Sunday. I think so. I could be wrong, but I've played for coaches.
Penguin to fly.
Sorry, I played for coaches that had an all-star team in AAU. We had an all-star team. We still lost due to bad coaching. Right? We still lost. But then I also played on a team where we shouldn't have won anything, but had a phenomenal coach, and we brought home chips.
I don't think we're arguing the importance.
But due to their philosophy, meaning that's what I mean by coaching. Their philosophy, how they run their defense, how they run their offense, just what they want us to do that makes sense to what the talent that you have to bring out the best. So I think so. I mean, I'm just going for what I've seen and lived and saw in coaching. But like I said, and you coach yourself, Queen. I know you probably had players that okay, you can't play defense. But if you know to put them in the best spot for them to shine, that makes sense on that situation, and at least have a Mitch or an OG and Mikal, who is a way above average defenders. We're so if the starting five is Jalen Brunson, Mikal, OG, Cat, and Mitch, looking at that five, you're seeing the defensive weaknesses technically with Brunson and Cat, I'm assuming.
I think that if you lean, what I'm saying is that the Knicks are not going to be able to have a top 10 offense and a top 10 defense. I'm saying if the Knicks lean into their offense, that means you're going to have those offensive lineups out there more. Your defense is going to be okay. I think that if you lean into those defensive lineups with Mitch and what have you, your offense is not going to be that dynamic. It's just not going to be that dynamic. So I think if the Knicks had two-way players, Mitch was a two-way player, Cat was a two-way player, then you could sell me on the Knicks having both a top 5 offense and a top 10 defense. when you got to put certain lineups in to maximize your offense and then put a different lineup in to maximize your defense, it's hard for me to imagine the Knicks being top 5 offense and top 10 defense when you don't have a lot of two-way um, players, and you got to like put in a defensive lineup and put in an offensive lineup. I think the Knicks will have an adequate defense. I'm not saying the Knicks are going to be terrible defensively. That's not what I'm saying at all. I think the Knicks are probably going to be top 14 defense. I think the Knicks will be top 5 offense. And I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I hope the Knicks have a top 10 defense. I just don't see it with all the elaborate schemes in the world. Helping Cat, who I have questions about his defensive IQ, actually, if you're asking him to do multiple things in a game, as opposed to this game, we're doing this, next game, we're doing that. I think he can keep up with that. I think if you're asking him to do different things at different times throughout the game, good luck. Good luck with that when it comes to Cat. And I think Brunson just has, he's not a liability effort wise, but I think he just has, he has issues, size wise as well. So I think you can put in schemes, maybe play a little zone to try to hide them and mitigate it a bit. I think you could do, but to the point where you're a top 10 defense, I would love to see it.
That would be good if we're top 10 defense.
It would be great.
Queen, you pushed you pushed it to top 15. I was like, man, we continue to talk about this. You gotta tell us the Knicks have a top 30 defense. It's like, stop at 15, Queen. No, yeah, top 14. We're good right there.
Well, what I would say
Sherman is really down on the Knicks. He thinks the Knicks will be a bottom 10 defense. Sherman, can you put in the chat why you think so? I know you said earlier it was because of the height. Is there anything else why you think the Knicks will be a bottom 10 defense, which is not going to cut it? I don't care what your offense is.
Yeah, no.
So basically, we got worse on defense, you saying?
I don't think so.
I don't know.
We don't really have very many good point of attack defenders, though. Like, who's the really good point of attack defender on this team? You say Deuce, and he's okay. He's not great. Like, so if that's our best point of attack defender, I think Mikal showed huge weaknesses in that last year. So, the number one thing about defense, first thing you got to do is be able to stop the ball. Who do we have to stop the ball? To me, that, like I said, you can't. The best flight coach in the world isn't going to make a penguin fly, right? You've got to be able to have someone to shut down the point of attack, or it all falls apart. And I think you can be adequate defensively if you don't have that, but I don't think you can be elite or top 10 with this roster. I'm just very skeptical that I would pleasantly surprised if that is the case, but I will be shocked if it's the top 10 defense this year.
You can also schematically, I don't know if he's going to do switching, so where, say Mikal is on the point guard, doesn't have to be a lot of screen navigation because we're just switching everything. But, that creates, that creates other issues as well. A-Train brings the humor to the we appreciate you, sis. I mean, she brings the humor. Top 10 defense is a stretch for this team, more like top 30. Wow.
Why is nobody seeing the vision? Go ahead, Jerrell.
I don't know about seeing the vision. Maybe we might not be top 10, but I'm trying to figure out why people think our defense is going to be worse than it was last year. And Mitch missed most of the season. So if Mitch is healthy, why wouldn't it be at least a little better or on par with what we did last year? What makes people think that it's going to be even worse?
I think Mitchell played 26 minutes. I think Clarkson is going to play more minutes, and he's not a defender. I think Yabusele is going to play more minutes, and he's not a defender. I don't think Mitch can cover everything and be in every lineup.
Well, whose minutes did they take from last year?
I think Josh minutes went down.
So Josh minutes
Minutes.
might go down. Like,
I think everybody minutes is going to it's going to fluctuate game to game. Like there's going to be certain games where we still need Brunson to stay in if it's a close game. But if we're rolling, it's guys are going to have some nights. I guarantee you, some nights JB's only playing 28 minutes. You know, if we're up and doing what we need to do, certain games, because how many times we've been up by 30 with Tibbs, guys are still in the game, you know, instead of sitting down. So there'll be a lot less of those. I'm just saying. So I think the minutes will kind of fluctuate depending on game to game and the situation of what it looks like out there.
Okay. Being up 30, that happened like twice last year, though.
Well,
Delusional. like 30.
You're right. I
mean, but that's around the
we're
edges.
up. You know, we're up and it's like 3 minutes left, and it's like, all right,
True.
come on, Tibbs. Let's get these guys out. And they're still there. And then we've seen certain halves where it's like, okay, we up by 10. Yes, sit the guys down during this crucial minutes time period, bring it in where you could bring in Brunson or Cat in at another crucial minute rather than playing them all the way through the half. We still up by 10. And then, of course, they get burnt out in the fourth due to those additional minutes for what I think could have easily changed. If we could have just brought in someone for that 2 or 3 minutes, get that rest, we're probably up 5 or 4, and then we continue to run it through. So I think those little things will kind of change for us this year.
What I will say to that, though, is momentum matters.
Yes.
So, like this idea that, oh, we up 10, let's bring in this person. Even if we get down to 4, you know, now we can bring them back and everything is going to be the same and they can just ratchet it back up to 10. That's not always the case. Momentum shifts quickly in the NBA. So, you know, when you're taking out your top players, the players that you're bringing in are not as good. So you're hoping that they can, you know, hold it down and you can keep that 10. You know, the league gets down to 4. There's no guarantee that now when you bring Cat back in or Brunson back in, you're going to be able to stabilize it and the momentum is just going to change and the Knicks are going to go on a run. So I think that's also a consideration for coaches as well. You also got to think about the team. You know, you're like, all right, this team, they're not a great. Obviously, if any team gets on a roll, it doesn't matter. Even if they're bottom of the NBA team, it's a wrap. But you can say, let me take my chances here with this team. I feel like even if we do give up the lead, we'll be able to get back. There's certain teams, you got a 10-point lead. You're like, y'all, we struggling to, you know, just to hold on to this 10-point lead. So I think it depends, but I do agree. I do think around the edges we're going to see some changes and blowouts and things of that sort. But I will say that for all of us who think that Mike Brown is going to be so much different than Thibodeau, I think you're going to be somewhat disappointed. I think there are some things that you're going to find are going to be different from Thibodeau, and there's other things that will not. So I think if you know, for those of us, and I say us as a fan base, even though we may differ, who think that Mike Brown is going to be the anti-Tibbs and like totally different, I think you're going to be disappointed. I don't think that's going to be the case. I do think there will be some changes schematically, of course. Yes.
And speaking of Mike Brown, let me ask a question. How do you guys think that, like, the fan base, right? Because, you know, fan base, we very critical of coach. You know, Tom Thibodeau was like, it was like politics, man. Tom Thibodeau was like, there's you have the pro Tibbs and the and the anti Tibbs on one side, and I mean it's like very divisive. How do you guys think we're gonna judge Mike Brown? Like
The same.
The same
as we judge everybody else.
Yeah.
Very critically. It's gonna be critical. Like, we're gonna judge everything that he does, just like we do everybody else.
And I mean, God forbid he lose. Like, he has a 3-game losing streak, right?
2. If we lose 2 games in a row, people are going to say fire him.
Come on, Jerrell.
You think that? All right, we'll see.
We will
see.
Oh,
I hope not.
And I hope not. And I hope, you know, I know the fan base is like, they don't understand those things, but it takes time for these.
Yes.
It takes time. Like, they don't get it. even the team, like Tom Tibbs, for all the issues I had with him, like he only had one season with this team. And like he didn't have a chance to like really like we saw the writing on the wall, but still he really didn't have a chance to really get this team the way he wanted it. You know, and so Mike Brown, this is his first season. Yes, he's coming into a team where the core has already played a season together, but it will take time for that marriage, for that chemistry to develop, even between the coaches, all the brand new coaches. There's only a couple of guys left from the Tibbs bench that are here, right? And you know, a couple of guys we don't even want to count Rick Brunson, because he's not really a coach. We don't want to count him.
Is Othello Harrington still on the bench?
I don't think so.
No, he's gone. Good. Fifth row, Mo's still there though. Like they probably move him up to the second row, but he's still here. And actually, I'm glad they kept him, because he's a good he's a good guard. Like I think he can help in that aspect. But how do you guys think they're gonna judge? I mean, I know, but what the record, like by December we're gonna be like, okay, Tibbs was here, he's here. You know, I can't wait to see this, man. I cannot wait to see this. And you know, Delusional, shout out to Delusional. I think personally that a lot of fans are setting their expectations too high. Okay, and I'm not saying like we have to be Debbie Downers, no, but again, because we're not taking everything into effect. The fact that it's a new team, it's a new coaching staff, right? And they're playing a bunch of different teams around the league. Somebody on here mentioned that Miami's got a brand new backcourt. I don't really care about the Miami Heat. I don't know who their new backcourt is, but that's just an example to show you that every team around the league is making moves to get better, except for Brooklyn. But everybody's making moves to get better, right? So
I like Michael Porter Jr. in Brooklyn. I'm gonna go to a couple Nets games because of Michael Porter.
No, you're gonna go to a couple Nets game because they're giving away the tickets. Delusional.
That is fact. It is
definitely
cheaper.
I go to more Nets game than Knicks game because they're like forcing. They please come in. You walking down Flatbush Ave, like, yo, hey, you want to come on in? All right.
Wow.
They ushering you in. That's terrible. I hope we don't lose to the Nets this year. I'm gonna be devastated after talking all this mess.
I've never been to a Nets game.
No,
I've been in the building for like concerts and stuff, but not an actual Nets game though.
I've been to a few Nets games. It's actually a nice atmosphere. It's actually a nice, but yeah. What else we got? Setting expectations too high. Do you agree? Disagree? Delusional. I know you don't agree. You probably want to go higher.
No, I want to go higher.
I'm realistic. I'm realistic. As much as I do have my delusional thoughts, I am definitely realistic with this being the first year. And like you said, it's a really big shift with new coaches and this whole mindset of everyone joining in. We're bringing in new players. So this is a new system that the team has to learn. You know, it was totally different when we had Tibbs all those years and you knew what you were getting into. It's a whole new set, whole new mindset, whole new training camp. You know, are they still going to go down to South Carolina and do what they always done? That might be different from when we start training camp. So this is
they are going to South Carolina.
Are they still going back to the same?
Yeah.
Okay.
September 24th, training camp starts.
Okay.
Media day is September 23rd. 2 weeks.
Okay, so they still doing that. All right, so still some familiarity with that. So, but everything else is it's a different set. It's a different thing. So different voices, like you said. These you got player development coaches coming down there that's new and stuff. But looking at some of the guys' Twitters and stuff, a lot of the guys the players already know these individuals. So that's the good thing about it as well. But I'm thinking, look, as long as we get past. Let's say if we play Indy again, as long as we get past Indy, as long as we get past Boston, because I know they're getting back to the playoffs. Like if we lose for a team that you know is like, all right, this is a legit better team, I'm fine. Whether it's Eastern Conference Finals or even second round. I'm fine because this is the first year. But I can't lose to adjustment situations to what we've always done. Why we didn't do this, or how come we didn't make adjustments to later on. If I see that the coaches is doing it, okay, I see you trying something different. You seeing with this is not working, that not working. We weren't the better team then. I can understand that L and not blame and point at individuals and say, hey, let's run it back with a more familiarity. Let's run it back with something different. Obviously, we're going to have different players because a lot of them are 1-year deals, but I'm going in with that mindset.
Jeff?
Mike Brown is a lot like Tibbs, in my opinion. I don't think it's like, I don't think we're just like burning everything that we already did and starting over from scratch. If you're expecting that, I think you're going to be disappointed. I think we're going to do a lot of similar things because I think their coaching philosophies are pretty similar, and I think that's one of the reasons that he was hired.
What about the preparedness as far as players knowing what to do on the floor? Because Jeff, do you agree? There's been certain times we're looking lost on offense or
I don't
on
think
defense.
The Knicks starters played the most minutes together of any team in the NBA. You're not going to tell me that the Knicks didn't know what they were doing on
Queen. There was certain
offense.
scenario situations where they didn't know whether to foul up 3 or what are we doing in pick and rolls? Are we dropping coverage or are we switching up? Like I've seen.
I think they knew what they were supposed to do. Cat just wasn't doing it.
Okay.
And that's why him and OG would get into it. Not just the one time on the bench, but there would be other times when OG would look at him like, yo, what the hell are you doing or not doing? So, I think some of it was, listen, I didn't agree with everything Tom Thibodeau did. I think that some of the criticism of him was fair. I thought a lot of it was unbalanced, though, where people only saw the negatives. But I do think some of the criticism of him was fair. The Knicks were one of the most prepared. Everybody will tell you that. Every player to a man will tell you they were prepared for every game, right? Lack of execution, that's not always schematic. Lack of execution sometimes could just be players deciding that's just too much for me to do right now. I'm just tired. I'm just not doing it. IQ issues, communication issues, chemistry issues. Like I said, criticisms of Tom Thibodeau are fair. That the Knicks weren't a prepared team, that's a tough one. That's a tough one for me. That they didn't know what they were supposed to be doing. That's a tough one.
I think if that was the case, like Steph said, that's on the players, not Tibbs. Because whether it's Tibbs or Mike Brown, they're both veteran coaches that prepared their team. So that has already been established throughout their resume. That's why they've been coaching so long. So if our team wasn't prepared, it was on the players to me. Definitely.
They're both, from what I understand, very good at attention to detail, particularly when it comes to game planning.
Right. That's their MO. That's why they're so high on the coaching rankings, because of that fact. So
yeah. And listen, I'm going to say this, and I'm not taking anything away from Mike Brown. We'll see. Mike Brown, in my opinion, is in the same tier of coaching as Tom Thibodeau. He may be better offensively. He may do some things differently. We have no idea who Mike Brown is going to be as far as bench coaching is concerned. The offense can be different. The defensive can be different, but will the results be spectacular? Because that's what he was brought here to do. So the process may be different, and I think that's great. And I think all of us are looking forward to offensive schemes, defensive schemes, but the results have to be different as well. I don't want to be sitting here talking about, oh, look how free-flowing the offenses is, and we out in the first round. Oh, look how we playing more zone, and we're doing the defense is looking good, we're hiding, and we out in the second round. The results, it has to be both. Difference in process to help us get a better result. So he can't just be different from Thibodeau. The results, he has to get better results than Tom Thibodeau. And I agree. I don't think it has to be in the first year. but he has to get better results than Tom Thibodeau. He has to take the Knicks to the chip.
Wow.
I mean, during his tenure, I'm not saying it has to
Yeah, I
be
see what you're saying.
next year, but he has to take the Knicks, to the. That's why you make the change, right? To bring in
Yeah.
a coach that's gonna take you to the chip. And I think we're putting a lot on the coaches. Players have to perform. Players have to perform. Tyrese Halliburton hit 4 game-winning shots on their way to the finals. You think that was coaching? Players have to come up big too.
Sorry, Geoff.
No, that's okay. And I also think that, we don't have time to get off to a slow start and have a training wheel season with Mike Brown. The window is open now. And the reason I say that is because Tyrese Halliburton is going to be out for almost the entire season. And the Pacers have been kicking our rear ends in the postseason a lot lately with him at the helm, in case you haven't noticed. The other thing is the guy in Boston, Jason Tatum, is going to be out for most of the year. So next year is a special window where the competition in the conference is still good. You have teams like Orlando is going to be good. Milwaukee's good. Philly, if they're healthy, could be good. There's a lot of, but as probably as watered down as it's going to get is this year. So if you're going to make a push to the finals and a championship, like, this is the open window, in my opinion, right now. I think that, it's his first year stuff that has to go away. Like, this team is a veteran team. They've got a veteran coach. They've got to hit the ground running, and they've got to be good right from Jump Street. And that's possible. Look what Cleveland did with Kenny Atkinson, right? Kenny Atkinson got on board. They were a team that won like 50 some odd games, and they became a team that won 60 games, right? And so that's what needs to happen here. The Knicks can't afford, we're new and this, squash all that. The window is open now. You make that change at the top to compete at the highest level, not to have a training wheel season. The Knicks need to excel this year, because this good an opportunity may not present itself in 2 years, in 3 years. This team is built to win now, just by their ages and their skill level, as well as the area around them. So I definitely think that this is the future is now, ladies and gentlemen. We have to put it together this year.
Wow, Geoff. So, wow. Okay. So Eastern Conference Finals are better.
Absolutely.
I like it.
Unequivocally.
I like it.
If we don't get there, would you blame the coach or the players more?
Yes,
Or I guess it
I would blame the coach and the players.
I'm about to say, I think for me it'll be both, and it depends on the
front office,
on what
by
happens
the way,
here.
right? Look, if you don't do if you make the moves and you fall flat, everybody gets the blame, in my opinion. Like, because the front office decided to make the change at the head coach. The players that they brought in obviously didn't work. So I'm not saying that you have to scrap everything, but I'm saying if you're going to assign blame, then I think that all 3 phases get blame when when there are expectations. And I think expectations are reasonable. We have 2 all NBA players on this roster. We should be competing for a championship.
And an all NBA defensive player, even though he didn't make the team, in my in my opinion. So yeah. So this is a prelude to one of the shows we're going to do the next 2 weeks. And then Jerrell, if you wanted to say something. I'm sorry, I don't see the Knicks on the same level as Orlando. So the next 2 weeks, we're going to actually break down the rosters of the other teams in the Eastern Conference. So we'll do 4 next week. We'll do the 4 week after. We'll do it a little different this time. We're not going to ask where the Knicks match up, because I know everybody feel like the Knicks are better than every other team. So we'll ask some different questions as we compare the Knicks roster to the rosters of the other 8. I don't know if we'll do everybody in the Eastern Conference. How many teams in the Eastern Conference?
15,
What is it, 15?
15.
14, if you're not including us.
Yeah, 14.
Yeah, we might pick the top 8, 10.
I'm about to say we doing like the Hornets and stuff. Like I don't
That's
care.
what I'm saying. Probably not. Probably not. But I do think the Knicks are a better team than the Orlando Magic. We'll see. Somebody is going to shoot up. Like somebody is going to fill the space of.
Correct.
Nobody thought the Pacers would do what they did. Right? They were up at half. Halliburton doesn't get hurt, they might be NBA champions right now. Right? So I think there'll be other teams to come in and fill the space that Indiana and Boston leaves.
Did we get that super chat from earlier, by the way?
We did not.
We did not, and I did not see that.
I actually.
Oh,
Corey Lee, pleasure. Thank you.
pleasure.
Salute.
And
Sorry, we were in the heated debate going in.
Yeah,
I apologize.
Not gonna lie, I didn't see that. Salute to Corey Lee. Yeah.
Are you going to read it, AJ, or you want me to read it?
Peace from Corey Lee. Peace and salute, Queen. Queen is in the building.
Queens is in the building. He's from Queens.
Yeah, Queens is in the building.
Queens get the money.
Oh, see, I didn't get that abbreviation.
Oh, yeah.
It's Brooklyn over here. It's Brooklyn over here.
Corey Lee.
It's Brooklyn over here, Corey. I'm sorry.
All right, but there's a couple of other comments that I mean, some of them we already talked about. I don't want to revisit. There's a couple of things I want to shout out to Sherwin, who says 118 points a game is what I see from Mike Brown. Tibbs slowed it down to help the defense. Brown will push the tempo. I mean, we did talk about that, but so what does that mean? I mean, does that mean? And we did talk about it. We talk about so Tibbs slowed it down to help the defense, right? So that means Mike Brown is not going to slow it down to help the defense. So which is kind of against what you're saying, Delusional. We're not going to have a great defensive team, pretty much.
Well, that's under Sherwin's knowledge. We're gonna have a great defense. We're gonna be, like I said, we're gonna scratch 11, 12. No.
You said top 10. Don't
start the season 11, 12, and by the end of the year we'll be top 10.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Queen, I don't know if you remember. I don't know if you remember. I said the same thing last year. Last year I said by the end of the season we'll be top 10 defensive team.
Last year we averaged 115 or 116, 115.8. So
we might average more than 118 then.
We shall see.
So what do you say, Delusional? What do you think we're gonna average on offense?
That I
269 points.
I was about to say,
with that dynamic offense.
You go. Why you ask him first? You know he gonna say some video game number. Yeah.
No. I'm realistic. I'm realistic, guys. It's 145. We done that stuff. Yeah. I could see us hovering around the 120, the 118.
That would be top 5.
Good. Yeah. I think we're
top 5. I'm looking at them now. Like 5th was 118, and that was Atlanta.
Wow.
Because, like I said, it's fresher legs. I do think there's going to be great time period for us to utilize the bench. Brunson getting some key minutes, stretch, get the legs off, while we have Deuce getting up more shots for Deuce. I think he would get more. Then Clarkson, like I've really been looking into Clarkson. Even his days in Cleveland playing under Braun, he played great defense during that time period. Everyone talks about his defense. He played, and he was on the floor in the finals with Braun and Kyrie. But the way he gets those shots up in seconds, that man to give you 16 in a quarter. He could have those stretches of doing that. So his scoring to be up. Yabusele is another player that he just had 30 and change for France not too long ago. This player, depending on how we utilize him, he can be phenomenal for us in the offense. I stated that if Mike Brown utilized him how Golden State utilized Draymond Green, as far as the person that's passing, being aggressive, setting physical screens to get players open for these shots and stuff, our offense will look great. It'll look great. And then, of course, he can be that small 5, stretch the floor. That's why my ceiling for these Knicks offensively, it's high due to the weapons that we have. Because remember, Precious, what stretch big did we have coming off the bench besides Cat? That was it.
Right.
So once Cat went down, we still couldn't utilize certain sets, certain movement, and certain positions. So then of course, when you said when our starters will go sit down, I think with Clarkson and Yabusele still on the floor, we're still capable of drawing. Not to say we're going to be efficient as Brunson and Cat, but we still will draw that attention that those two players will have with Clarkson still getting up the volume shots and being aggressive. Might not be efficient, but he's going to get it up. And Yabusele being a stretch big who can also pass the ball and attack the basket and hit the mid-range, but it's also, and his is efficient as well, that we've seen. So that's why I'm high on the offense.
Delusional. You're not going to get any argument from me, and I don't think anybody on this panel when it comes to how dynamic the Knicks offense is going to be.
Well,
No.
only when we was talking about putting up the 140, because I still think
okay. I think the Knicks offense is going to be dynamic, and
Right.
I think they should lean into that. I just don't think they're going to be a great defensive team. So if the Knicks are scoring 118, they might be giving up 114. That's still a plus. That's still +4. A +4 net rating, So I think the Knicks are going to be.
We got Mitch in a contract year. We all know what Mitch is in a contract year.
I'm not underestimating Mitch, but what I'm saying, in those lineups that you're optimizing defense, your offense is not going to be as great. I'm not taking anything away from a healthy Mitchell Robinson, who has never played more than 26 minutes in his life. So Mitchell Robinson can't be in every lineup to help Cat and Brunson and Clarkson and Yabusele. He can't be in every lineup.
Maybe we get Hakaporti more. This is more and more Hakaporti, and I think Hakaporti is capable of being baby Mitch.
Wow. We're not playing 11. I don't even think I think that 10th player is probably getting about 10 minutes. I don't know about playing 11.
Look, we just need situational minutes, a little 2-3 minutes here, get that spurt, be dominant in that time period. But
Got you.
Yeah.
Got you.
Remember, I said our net rating last year was 4. So Steph is right. Like
it was +4.
Yeah, it was +4. Like we was top 10 in the league in net rating. We was 8th. So that could, if our offense is going to be more and we give up more on defense, it evens out. Just like Steph said.
And Mike Brown coached the league's #1 offense when he was in Sacramento. So, and I think I would argue, I don't know if everybody would, I would argue that this team has better weapons across the board than that Kings team did that was first in the NBA in offense for the entire season. So the potential is there. And I think it'll be a huge disappointment if we're not one of the best offenses in the NBA.
We will be. We will be. I don't really have any concerns about that. If we're not, I'm panicking.
Especially playing in the East, I think we will be. Shout out to Sharon again, says if Mitch and Cat get hurt, where's our size? Well, isn't that the case for every team?
Yeah, that's every
team. If the first 2 big men are hurt, like where's the size? As a matter of fact, we're still in a better position. We still got Yabusele and we still got Ariel Hawkporty. So
Yabusele is 6'8" though.
Yeah, he plays big, but he's not out.
There you go, Jerrell. Hold me down. Big Ben was 6'9", but that's different though. He's a I know. It was different.
I co-signing that one.
Yeah. It was different. It's different. I know that was far fetched. I know.
Yeah, Cardiac Nick says Deuce, Bridges, OG, Mitch, and Diawara is our best defensive lineup. Right. So, Queen, I know what Queen's gonna ask. Right, when you have that lineup out there, how are we gonna score?
Right. That's the only point I'm trying to make. The Knicks are gonna have to lean into one or the other.
Like, who's scoring?
What I mean, you're gonna be your best in one and adequate in the other is what I mean. Because when you try to put these lineups out, so you want your best. I'm not talking about spot duty, but to be top 10, usually that defensive, whoever your defense is consistent. It's not just spot lineups. This would be a spot.
Yeah, this
a
is
spot lineup.
This is you up by a point, and there's like 5 seconds left on the clock, and you put those guys out there to stop the ball. That's all you're getting out of that,
Yeah. And Cardiac Knicks, I'm gonna let you roll with the Awara. I ain't gonna even say nothing. I'm gonna let you rock with that.
I was
I
going
think we should wait.
I was gonna ask because
where the hell he playing at?
He ain't playing not one NBA. But
Yeah,
okay.
like where he coming from? Like he might not even be on the roster then. So
is he? Yeah, I was gonna say, is he even on the roster? Like,
Not yet.
is he?
No.
Not yet, right?
No.
Not yet. No.
They gotta make a decision, right? Or who they're gonna give that last.
Is that a two-way or?
Oh, most likely he'll be on a two-way. Yeah.
They got room for a rookie minimum, no?
Yes, they do.
I'm about to say ask Geoff. I was about to say he answered. Look,
They do. It's not necessarily going to be Diawara though. There's a lot of players that maybe James Najee, who's more of a 5.
Or maybe we can get a wing that's over 6'5", 6'6".
No.
Great.
We're not allowed to do that.
not allowed to.
It's against company policy.
If we're picking though, I would rather have Diawara than Najee though.
Yeah,
I like him. I don't think he's going to play, but I like it.
I heard they were looking at some European who's playing really well at the Eurobasket who has never been in the NBA, because that's the only qualifications for that last rookie min contract is that they've never played in the league before. So if you've been on a two-way or something like that, you're not eligible for that spot.
Right.
But if it's someone, and that's the only reason I mentioned Najee, is I don't think he's ever stepped foot on an NBA stage before.
He hasn't
in the regular season. I don't believe so.
No, not even for another team.
No, because he was in Minnesota, I think, but I don't think he ever. I think he was like a draft and stash player for them.
Okay.
Correct me if I'm wrong, chat. They probably know better than I do. But
Geoff, you said they was looking at somebody. You mean somebody in particular? Like you remember who it was?
In the EuroLeague.
In the EuroLeague? They were looking at somebody?
Yeah, I forgot his name.
Amani says that they turned that down right there.
Okay. Okay.
Salute, Amani.
Yeah, salute. I didn't know about that.
Oh, I think we have another super. Oh, it just came up. I mean.
Yeah, let's do this. Corey Lee. Chill. Thanks, Corey Lee. Thank you for the super chat.
Appreciate you.
$5 super chat. Chill out. The Butcher number 23 first summer workout. Without surgery, we will be expecting big things.
If Mitch is healthy, I agree with that.
Corey taking Staffa's spot as the president of the Mitch Robinson fan club.
We appreciate it, and we appreciate it.
That's true.
Salute, Trav.
Yeah, Geoff was right. Najee, he never played in the NBA. Like he was drafted in 2023, but he was drafting a stash, like you said.
So it's someone who's that type of player. It could be Diawara too. I'm not saying it can't be. I'm just saying it'll be someone of that ilk, And I'm not sure. And I think that's part of the thing with McCullough is that he was on a two-way last year.
Two-way.
Yep. So he can't be that guy. If we're going to retain him, it would have to be as a two-way guy. I know there's a lot of McCullough fans in the chat, so you better hope he's on a two-way, because if not, he's not going to be on the team.
Right.
What happened to that player we drafted a few years ago? He played in Spain. He played a
Rokas,
couple. Yeah,
Rook,
Rokas Jokovitis. Yeah, what happened to
Jokovic,
him?
yeah.
he wouldn't come over for that little money, first of all, and I don't know. I would just bury Rokas. I don't think he's ever coming to the States. Um,
I never thought he was good enough to play for us anyway.
I agree with that. That's
But
part of the. I think that's part of it. In other words, he would want more money. Like he's making more money as a European point guard than a vet minimum contract in the NBA. So, but you're not going to pay a guy of his. I mean, that making more money than Deuce McBride is right now, and we're not going to be paying anybody that salary for that low a skill level for sure.
I don't understand. Why do we draft those? Why do we waste draft picks on those guys? What am I missing here? Why do we
It's
do
money. It's money. So you don't have to. There's no added money to the salary cap.
And I wouldn't necessarily call it a waste. Some draft and stash players actually do work out. Like a lot of them do, just not for us,
Not for
particularly. Just not for us, but they work out in the league.
that? We literally haven't had any draft and stash player work out. Like none of them. And that's going
Lord
back many
Scientist.
seasons.
Sorry. No, finish, Ajay. Sorry.
No, I was gonna say that's going back many seasons. Like pre-Leon Rose, we never had any of those actually come in here, work out, or do anything for us. And that's why I don't understand why we do that. But whatever.
Yeah. Lord Scientist, we're gonna be getting off soon.
Well, he kicking us off, Queen? He kicking
And
us
plus,
off?
you weren't taking
Oh.
calls today anyway, were you?
No, he was asking, can he join the panel? That might be another.
Oh yeah, it's already
Sorry,
taken.
Lord. Sorry, Lord.
Corey Lee, appreciate you.
Look,
Corey, man.
Corey about to be my guy. I'm with you on this, Corey. We got a new coach in here. It's gonna be a new system. Mitch is gonna get some burned. He gonna get some looks in the post. He gonna be passing. He gonna be boxing out. He's gonna be drop stepping, pump faking, left hook.
Man,
Come on now.
Okay,
We're gonna see the big Mitch.
So you trying to say Thibodeau was holding Mitchell back and not his skill level?
I would say I blacked out to the last couple things you said. What'd you say, bitch? Was gonna be good?
Hold
he
on.
was like, yes.
I'm
What you
watching the
talking
game
about,
on the
bro?
side. Jump hook. Wait, what happened?
Look, well, don't remember we brought in that big man player development coach here. We brought him in last year. He's been working with Mitch.
Mark Bryant, right?
I believe so. Correct. Mitch has been with him all summer. For most of the summer, he's been down there working. So I'm just saying, we got a new coach in here. He's coming into training camp. Let him showcase. Hey, look, I can get the ball in the post. I can back down, right? Because all we really need is some double teams or someone to just sag off a little bit for him to dish it out, right? Queen always said, there's nothing on offense when it comes to that. The other team know that. We know that Mitch can put the ball on the floor occasionally. We know that Mitch can pass the ball out of certain situations. Let's extend the gameplay. I don't think it's more of his skill set. I just think that with the player development we had wasn't primary towards him. So if we're utilizing that, let that show. Now, I'm not saying taking mid-range jump shots. No way.
Yeah,
I'm not saying taking three-pointers. No way. But a mid-range floater, we've seen him do it before, and he's made it. It could be more of that. There's been numerous of times of him in a pick and roll and rolling. He's open. He's not getting the ball, right? We've seen out of hundreds of plays, and you're like, okay, why is that? You can draw the defense in. He could kick it out to the wing. OG is open. That's a bucket. They don't utilize that, and the defense know that, which is why they still double Brunson, and Mitch goes untouched with the ball. So that's an asset that you can utilize on offense. So it's those little things that I'm referring to, not massive of saying he has an ISO play, he got a play made for him. I'm not saying that, Queen, because I know you.
I just need Mitch to catch the ball when they do pass it to him.
But Queen, remember when I told you the issue with that is he not expecting the ball to come to him, which is why it's always last minute. We're out of rhythm. Like, okay, we didn't practice that. You usually keep the ball in this play. Now you want to force it to me? No, let's start from the beginning. Let's get him acclimated in the offense, and you will 100% see a difference. That I will stand by. That
right.
it's like it's a brand name. It's Pepsi. I stand by it.
Ain't nobody like Pepsi though.
We'll see. Corey Lee, Geoff the Butcher's coming, number 23. Damn right. All right.
Queen said, let's move
Yo,
on. We ain't talking about
delusional. It's not the end of the show, man. But please plug your channel because I think most people in here want to go back and hear more of that stuff you're talking. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna go back and listen to some of your shows, man, because I want to hear that good junk.
Well, but listen. This is not the Pom Pom podcast unless Delusional is here.
Delusional is here, man. And Queen, he makes up for all the non-Pom Pom shows that we had. Whenever he shows up.
If Mitch,
we appreciate you, Delusional.
If Mitch shows any type of floater or jump hook or any type of offensive game, this fan base is going to go nuts.
Yeah, look at
I'm here for it.
I'm definitely here for it.
I'm here for it.
All I'm going to say is I am Mr. I Told You So.
Okay. I hope you're right.
And we'd love for you to be right. Shout out to A-Train.
Absolutely.
Yes.
A-Train says, if Mitch can add that iHeart floater. A-Train, that's not a floater you add. That's the floater you're born and you grow up with. That iHeart stuff, you don't add that. Like nobody adds that to their game. If you don't have it, you don't have it.
So from what I'm hearing, Mitch is going to have a jump hook game, and Yabusele's going to be starting by the end of the season. This is what
easy, Geoff. Yabusele will be.
And the Knicks are going to have a top 10 defense.
Yep. We go score
and average 145 points on offense.
145.
This is gonna be a fun season, y'all.
Let's do it.
Look, we need
ready.
that banner, baby. 2020, 2020,
everybody psyched it to that first week. And then I got to remind everybody, wait till 20 games. People go nuts after the first game. Watch.
I think
preseason game I'm judging. I need to see some clean cuts. I need to see some clean picks.
Facts.
Y'all judging first preseason game, Steph.
I gotta see what the schemes are. Yep. I want to see what I just want to get just an inkling, just a little inkling of what we might be running.
This the preseason though, so how much do you think you're gonna see that we really gonna be running in the regular season?
Yeah, that's fair.
But you get a taste though. You get the idea. You get the concept of what's going on.
Yeah, the concept of it, sure. But I'm saying that as a fan, I might not want Mike Brown to be showing stuff, to be honest. Because everybody got scouting reports on our players. Nobody has a scouting report on our players with him. So I don't know if I want to see a whole bunch. Don't get me wrong, I'm going to watch the game. I'm going to watch it in a minute. But I don't know if I want him to show all our sets and stuff like that.
Look, we got multiple offensive coaches on the bench, so we're gonna have plays for days.
Jerrell, I'm sorry, I want to see the sets the first preseason game. I want to see it laid out. I want to see what Mike Brown's gonna be doing.
So everybody can scout us in the first preseason game. Okay, we'll see.
Look, I want to see JB coming up for curl without bringing the ball up and knocking down shots.
I would love that. I would love that. I would love that.
I would absolutely love that. I would love
if Mikal Bridges can be a secondary, ball handler. And again, not just getting the ball over half court and getting it to Brunson, but like truly, running the sets and running action. I would be elated. I really would.
If he has to do that more, are you willing to sacrifice his defense?
That's true.
Shout out to Corey Lee. Delusional, I'm coming over there with you. Yo, plug. Give the information, man.
I appreciate you. Look, we on Delusional Network, Delusional Knick Fan Network on YouTube. That's where you can find me at. But I mostly drop all the dimes here on Dope Soul. You
He's
could get
dropping
it.
a fistful of dollars. He ain't dropping no dimes.
Look, I've been away for a while, so I've been holding all of this so I can
We miss you. We miss you.
I can get it out. I
For
miss you
sure.
guys as well, though.
His link. Did you change your link? The link is still the same,
It's
right,
still
for
the
your
same.
channel?
Yeah, still the
It's
same.
in the
Still
it's
the
in the description.
Still the same. I'm like
The link
literally
also for Jeff's daily sports blog is in the description, as well as Jerrell's Giants show is in the description, and as well as Ajay's number to his electrician, so we can try to get that light right.
It's not the light. It's not the light. It's the camera.
Camera. Okay.
It's the laptop. And listen, it was working. I didn't do anything to it. I turned it on tonight, and it's green. I was like,
You've
you know
been
what?
Bruce Banner since like April.
Yeah.
We ain't trying to hear that action.
I don't know, man. And I tried to white balance it. I tried everything. I don't know. It's just not working.
I gotta get out of here. I would be
Yeah.
going to bed if I was home, but we're going out. I'll see how long I'll last. Jerrell, Ajay,
that
Jeff.
game's almost over. You might as well hang out with us.
They're going somewhere after the game. That's why
Oh.
I'm getting ready. I hope I don't fall asleep.
She skipped the
But,
game. She's going right to the post game. That's the way.
Right.
Steph, you
I
on
appreciate-
vacation, man. You got to stay up, man.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I don't want to be a part. I'm gonna go. Usually I'll be like, nah, y'all go ahead. I'm going to bed. But I'm going. But I appreciate you guys holding it down, making this possible, that even if I didn't come on the show, that you guys had it. I really, really appreciate it. We got to go over the schedule, which games we're gonna go to Legends and watch. And obviously all the foods and drinks, are on me when we do that. We're gonna have some watch parties this season for whoever wants to come and join us at Legends. Jeff and I doing a post game show lunchtime after every Knick game. So we'll still do the weekly show. And I'm trying to get something together on Sunday mornings with a special somebody. Once I finalize that, I will.
And you
I'll let
guys
you know.
hear after every Knicks show, not just after every Knicks win. So, Queen, I don't want to hear the game sucked. It was a bum game, no show today, or none of that stuff. So,
Yeah, it is kind of hard when the Knicks lose to it's kind of hard.
Oh, really?
It is kind of hard.
You ever try to do a Giant show after a Giants game? Steph?
Oh yeah, yes. And let me tell you, Jerrell, and I'm gonna get out of here.
Okay.
We were so pumped up with the Knicks. I mean, not the Knicks, the Giants with the preseason.
Yeah.
The quarterback should start week 1. We got this, we got that, and then the Giants was like the same offensive line, defensive line. Play calling. It was like, yeah, here we go. But Corey Lee, Jerrell, what's up with who's this?
Sierra husband. You talk about Russell.
Oh, Sierra number 3. Oh, okay. Quarterback play is horrible.
Yeah, I told him in the chat that he out there seeing ghosts. So, if you watch football, you know what that means as a quarterback. So, it is what it is, man. Go Giants.
Yeah. All right, guys. I appreciate you all.
all right, Queen.
Later, Queen.
All right.
Later,
All right,
Queen.
next time.
All right,
Enjoy
Steph.
your
All right.
time off.
Let me see how I can get out of here. One out.
Salute to Steph, man.
Yeah,
Real
and
quick, I did want to iterate something that was said early on in the chat. Just everybody take a moment and remember all the firefighters and all the folks that were lost on 9/11. I know we're a New York team, and that those attacks that day hit our city harder than anywhere else, and those brave men and women who went in, into harm's way. They knew that the towers were coming down, but it didn't stop them from saving as many lives as possible. And I said on my blog this week, or for my post today, that right after that was, in my lifetime, the greatest time to be an American, because it wasn't about your political party. It wasn't about your ideology, whether it be liberal or conservative. All just Americans, and we were arm in arm in lockstep, and we were truly I felt like a family as a nation, and that's something that in the current climate is certainly not on this show, but is certainly missing in the world at large, in the country at large. So shout out to everybody and the families who lost their loved ones, and don't ever forget, because it was a great price that was paid for, you know, for all of us. And so I just think that maybe it's appropriate to end tonight's show just thinking about them and reflecting on what happened that day. It's hard to believe there's a generation that's grown up and
they weren't there.
9/11 world, but you know, my kids are 24 and 20, and they, you know, my oldest was 5 months old when when the towers fell. So it still haunts me looking at the skyline and not seeing those towers there. I just I'll never get past it. It'll always feel broken and missing to me for the rest of my days. So, and I know I'm not the only. I'm not a native New Yorker. My family's from Long Island, but I'm not a native New Yorker. But I still have that connection to the city, just for all those years. So I just want to express, if you were affected in any way by that, then I apologize, and I wanted to just say our hearts and prayers are for all of those folks who passed away and suffered on that day.
Absolutely. And for us who live here, Geoff, who were here, it's like you always remember exactly what you were doing, where you were that day. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that was a moment, man. That was something. Yeah.
No, it definitely was.
But yeah, what else? Anything else, guys? Guys, what do you guys expect in training camp? Training camps is in a couple of weeks. What do you guys? I know we don't get much. There's media day. You know, you see, we're not gonna see full video clips, but we're gonna see bits and pieces, right? We're gonna see. But what do you guys expect to see? You know, for that you know,
just don't get hurt. Weeks. That's all I want to see from training. Just stay healthy. I'm kind of a Jerrell. I don't need to see all the, like, we don't need to roll out our game plan and give advanced prep for teams. Like, you know, get out there, get in basketball shape, don't get hurt. That's the only thing I want to see in preseason. And then when we hit the ground running game one, hit it hard and don't look back, and let's win 50 plus games and have a deep playoff run. I'm here for it.
Now, I was going to agree with Geoff. Like, the answer to the question is nothing. Like, I don't want to see anything, to be honest. I know everybody's excited that the season is going to start soon, but yeah, man, I just want it to start, like the actual regular season. I don't put too much into preseason.
Jerrell, that's the thing. We haven't seen professional basketball in months. Like preseason, I want to go right into it, man.
I know. It was like that in football too. Like when you watch preseason games, like, don't get me wrong, we're excited to see football because, you know, after a long summer. But once the preseason game starts, you're ready for it to be over. Like, I'm just want the regular season to start. Like, I know I'm excited about basketball, and when I see Jalen Brunson in a Knicks jersey, I'm always going to be excited. But for the most part, I hope he's on the bench during the preseason, and I want the regular season to start. Like, I don't expect us to see much, maybe from the young guys, but other than that, yeah, I want most of our veterans to actually chill and rest and, you know, do all of their damage behind closed doors and training camp and stuff like that, not the actual preseason. Yeah. But I'm excited, actually. Don't get me wrong. I'm excited. I ain't want to, you know, feel like I popped your balloon just then. Like, I
know. It's like, but to me, it's like, man, it's been so many months, man. Like right now, I want to see it. Like, go right into it, man.
Yeah, we still.
I know the games don't count. I want to see.
We still got like a month and a half to go for the season start. So you got to chill. You got to temper expectations. Maybe that's why I'm so focused on football right now, because I have to be, because I'm excited about the season also coming up.
Well, my approach is a little different, because we know that the window for us and the opportunity is now. So I think you need to set a tone at the training camp on making sure the guys are in shape, making sure they're understanding what's at stake. Obviously, not kill the guys, but then show what you're saying. There's a partnership. You want to utilize the bench. So let's see, the offense run through the bench. Let's see the schemes with that. Let's see how you're going to utilize certain players in certain positions. How the starting lineup is going to look. How is he going to coach? How is he going to adjust? And then, of course, you're going to utilize the bench as well. Like I stated, when we talked about the football, I'm a Giants fan as well. In preseason, I was looking, okay, how are we going to utilize the offense? How's the O-line going to hold up? How are we going to run the ball? And seeing what the offensive looked with all three of our quarterbacks, I'm like, this looks amazing. You got guys out there going to work and playing well. But then, of course, like you said, regular season came and you're like, whoa, what just happened?
And then game one happened, right?
What just happened? But you felt the energy around the Giants, though. Like you felt that this was a different team during the preseason. It just felt different, So obviously it didn't translate to wins now, but I still think that we got a chance to kind of turn it and get things going. But with the Knicks, that's what I want to see. Set the tone. Let us feel that, okay, this is a different year as far as what we want to do. What do we, what's the goal set and execute. But that's what I'm waiting for. I want to see what's the first set we got coming out of the offense. Because obviously it depends if we're going with our starting five or if he starts utilizing the bench first. Don't mind, but I still want to see what are we doing on offense, what are we doing on defense. So
you're trying to go to South Carolina, Delusional. You trying to go down there and meet them?
Look, I got Ken folks down there, baby. So
give us a report. Now
I might have to be down there. But yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to. And we know about Mike Brown is he likes to practice. Now, is that something that he's going to bring here with an older team that he has here? I have no clue, but I know he likes to practice and not necessarily, run through sets of where, all right, this is what we're going to run and pretty much do a little scrimmage of just showcasing. Like, no, get them hands dirty, let the ball move, and let's get this thing rolling.
Can't wait for it to happen, man. Can't wait for it to start.
Definitely.
Yeah. All right. So let me see if there's another. I saw another.
Oh yeah, definitely utilize Pacone Daddier. That's one thing too. We don't have another big forward that's 6'8" that can stretch the floor. They talk about his metrics in shooting is similar to what Deuce was during the practice thing. So now we just need the reps for that to translate into the game. He can be a Keegan Murray player that was in that sack offense. So I do a lot of reference to what players Mike Brown had before in certain of his teams because you see how the offense was ran through that thing. And Keegan Murray was a shooter on that team, big body shooter, but he's probably who knows if he's a better defender than Pacone. We haven't seen it because he really had that experience. So you got another 6'8" body that could be there, that can defend, that can knock down shots. Utilize it. Your thoughts on that matter? Ajay, what's up?
No. I listen. I'm with you, man. I agree with you. I don't disagree. So
Geoff, come on, give me something good, Geoff. Tell me something good.
I don't know. We're going to see a lot of Pacome Daddier.
You don't?
I hear what you're saying about Deuce. It took Deuce 2 years to become a decent NBA shooter, even with all of those practice reps and everything else. And I don't know that this stage of where we're at developmentally, trying to win a championship, it's time to give Daddier a long leash or a ton of burn. He's going to be a player who's the end of the rotation guy. If people get hurt, if OG is out or if Bridges is out, he might see some time. But even then, I think it's going to be a small role for him, just because he has a bunch of people in front of him and he's still raw. I mean, he's a young kid. Let him continue to cook in the G League and see what he does in his spot minutes and you know, it's one thing to shoot the ball lights out in practice or in the gym. It's a very much different situation to do it during a ball game, right? You know, so, you know, especially when it matters and when there's pressure and there's NBA level defenders on you and those sorts of things. I mean, you know, you watch NBA warm-ups, even the guys who aren't 3-point shooters are knocking down threes like they're going out of style. You know, they don't ever shoot those in a game, and there's a reason, right? Because it's not the same. It's not the same thing. So I don't know. I don't dislike Pacome. I think he has some potential, but if Daddier is playing any significant role on this team, something has gone significantly wrong, in my opinion.
Well, and we're talking spot minutes here and there, you know, a little bit more than what he was getting last year, you know, because I don't know how the offense, I don't know how the rotation would go, but if the starting lineup is like we state is Brunson, Mikal, OG, Cat, and Mitch. So when your first forward is sitting down, OG, you're gonna bring in Mikal to run that. I mean, you're gonna bring in Hart to run at small forward. Like, is that where we're gonna run at small forward?
But I don't think that it necessarily. So, in my opinion, I think one of the things that Mike Brown needs to change is the substitution patterns.
Right.
Like,
right.
I don't think it should be, well, we've got these 5 and then we're going to bring in these 4. You know what I mean? I don't think it's not a hockey game. You know what I mean? I think that we'll be much better off as we're going to have these 3 in here. We're going to have our starting 5. We're going to take 2 out. We're going to put 2 in, and then we're going to, you know, mix and match. So there's more starters on the floor throughout, and then they close together, but you get to see like Clarkson with Brunson. You get to see, you know, some minutes where you know, maybe even have Yabusele at the 5 for a few minutes or what have you. But I just think that one of the most effective ways to get more out of this lineup is to fuse the bench and the starters together in a more cohesive, conducive way. And that's not something I kind of felt like with Tibbs, it was kind of like, all right, we played 7 minutes, then this guy's coming out and this guy's. So I think having more fluidity, trusting different lineups, seeing different lineups, and seeing what's working with in a given moment. And I know that's some of the stuff that you're thinking about in your mind, just having listened to you know, what you've been saying all evening. And there's a lot of good stuff, by the way. It just seems like that's the wavelength. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't.
No, you right there, Jeff. Right there, 100%.
But
100%.
We've been discoursing about basketball for a long time, so I kind of feel like, you know, I can, even if I don't always agree with you, I can kind of pick up where you're coming from. And so in my mind, I think that's what you're envisioning when you're saying, especially when you're talking about those offensive explosions and changes and so forth. It's that it's that exactly. It's how we put the players on the floor together that's going to maximize them in a way that didn't happen last year.
Correct.
I'm not gonna lie, when you start talking about Pacome Daddier, I thought you meant like him getting minutes in the preseason.
Well, preseason as well, but remember last year Tibbs put him in a rotation early. He was getting minutes early.
In beginning of seasons, he was getting some minutes.
But I was saying preseason first to really start a preseason to get the reps, to see what he can do, and then hopefully that could translate to more during the regular season.
Okay.
Because like you said, once we bring OG, there's not another size at that forward spot unless you move Mikal over and he plays the 3, and then of course you have Josh at the 2, because technically it's either matchup or position wise, but right now I'm going position wise, and usually when we go that position wise, we're a small unit when we go that unit. And sometimes I'm like, no, we need to match up with the size at the forward. You need to, if you guarding Braun, guarding Luka, or you know, Siakam, all these big forwards, you need to continuously have forwards to kind of match up with them. And I thought that was our biggest issue last year, which is why I was a huge advocate for Ben Simmons.
So if that's the case, whose minutes go down?
And this is what I said. It's situational. It's one of those things where it's matchup. Hey, we getting killed here. Any other time, we'll bring in Josh. But right now, I want to bring in Pacome. You know, it could be another situation where, hey, look, this is happening right now. Deuce is a better matchup for this. Sorry, well, we definitely can never say sorry, Brunson. But Brunson, you going to the 2. We need to stop the initial point guard from killing us. That's the initial stop point. And we barely blitzed or pressed. That was another thing when I'm like, why are we not pressing? You see, they're pacing on us. Press. I don't care if it's from the beginning of the game. Set the tone. Tibbs will wait till the 4th quarter to press. Like, no, I'm sorry, Tibbs. Sorry, it's too late now. Let's press. Let's stop that. Let Deuce pressure. And we switch it from there. But I think we're good though with the coaching staff that we got now.
I'll agree with you on this, Delusional. If Deuce is in the game, I want us pressuring the ball 94 feet the entire time he's in the game. I think that's his that maximizes him. Like when McBride plays, that's the role that he needs to play. Put pressure on the ball all the way up the court, because I think that's where he shines defensively, as opposed to, point of attack defender in a half court set. I'm not sure that he's quite as good there. I've seen him kind of struggle with guys. Like, I thought he struggled in the Detroit series last year, and I also thought he always struggles with that. What's that kid from Indiana who always, TJ McConnell, always eats his lunch too. So
I've always said, if we're going to pass Indiana, Deuce has to be better than him. So, like, it all depends on, like, the backup guards that we go up against. Can Deuce, now that we got Jordan Clarkson, that kind of is different, but at the time, like, if our backup guards can't beat the other team's backup guards, we're in trouble.
True. 100%.
And Delusional, I wanted to, like, there's something you say. I think that's going to be one of the major differences we see this season, right? We're going to see a lot of Coach Brown, I feel, and I hope he does that, like, his lineups a lot of time are going to be depending on what's needed on the floor, right? Whereas, as opposed to Tom Thibodeau, who has his guys, regardless of who we playing or what's going on, who's getting killed or whatever, he's still gonna have, as literally cookie cutter at the 8-minute mark. This guy comes out every game. So, yep. And I feel like Coach Brown, like, you might be right, and I'm hoping you are, that there might be a game where he feels like Pacome Dadier is the guy that he's got to put in to give us a lift, or Deuce might be the guy that comes in. So it's not, and listen, somebody else's minutes is gonna go down, like, 2, 3, or 4 minutes, because we need that matchup. We need that edge, that advantage with the other player. I hope this is one of the things that we see in him. I don't know if that's his style. I don't know if that's his coaching style, but it seems like it is, because when he was in Sacramento, man, he went into the bench sometimes. Like, he went into the bench depending on who he was playing, what team he was playing. So I don't follow them close enough to know, all the ins and outs, but, like, he's willing to play the bench. You know what I'm saying? So I hope that's one of his philosophies. Match up depending on what we need. There may be a game where we don't need Jordan Clarkson to play more than 4 minutes. Or we need Landry Shamet to play, 12 minutes as opposed to 4 minutes. So hopefully he does that. But anyway, guys, I don't know if you have anything else. I want to shout out to the chat, everybody who was in here. Coach came in late. Shout out to you, Coach. Cardiac Knicks, Vaughn Allen, Corey Lee was here. Corey Lee would
shout out to Corey.
Corey Lee was spending me, and thank you for all the super chats. A Train, shout out to you. JW. Who else did I mention? Freezy was in the house. I don't know why Freezy didn't get on, man.
He was in the house talking crap about my.
Talking crap about Shout out to Size 9 was in the house. Amani was in the house. Sherwin, shout out to Sherwin. Sherwin always rocking with us. Thank you for being here. Who else was here earlier? King Synthesis 718 was here earlier. Nostalgic Nick. Yeah, I said that. Nostalgic Nick was here. Who else? I said Sherwin already. Who else was here?
JW, Vaughn Allen.
Lonnie Meeks. I'm trying to remember the name. I think Just Knicks was here. A few people. Oh, Randu 1973. Always rocking with us too. Shout out to Randu. Always in here. I don't know if he's still in here, but yeah.
Lord Scientist.
Shout out to you. And Curtis D. Young was in the house early.
And Ron's still Knick fan, showing up late, but not never. Appreciate you, brother.
Shout out to you, Ron. Ron the 8-hour man. Guys, if you're not doing anything on a Saturday, or if you're going for a long road trip, like an 8-hour road trip, Ron's got you covered. All right, Andrew K, shout out to you. But anyway, thanks guys for hanging out. Shout out to Queen for showing up, and she actually stayed longer than that hour, guys.
Way longer.
She got in like it got
said half an hour at first. She stayed on for an hour and a half.
For an hour and a half.
Steph loves the Knicks, man.
Yeah, thanks guys for hanging out. Delusional, thanks for coming, and you always welcome here. And plug your channel again, man, because people got to go in and get and listen to some of that good stuff.
If you want some delusional takes with a little hint of realism, please join Delusional Knick Fan Network. I'm probably about 6 followers away from 500, which is a perfect milestone for me. I promise to put out a lot more content. Fortunately, I do travel a lot for work. I'll be in different states, but I still try to watch the show. I still catch the show from a distance, but I will be doing a lot more live showings where I interact with you guys. You guys get to talk and call in and just talk Knicks. But like I state, I will definitely be here on one of the baddest, dopest shows, which is Dope Soul. So we're here.
Yeah.
Salute to you, Delusional. It's good to have you back in the house, man. We
it's
miss
always
you,
a pleasure with you guys. You guys are my family, 100%. I get to be myself here. This is therapy. This is everything with amazing people. I appreciate you guys.
Jerrell, thanks for coming, man. Listen, I know there's a football game going. I know it ain't the Giants, but still, you showed up. We appreciate that.
Right.
Hey, salute to the green screen over there too.
Right.
Green.
Hostess with the mostest, man.
Holding it down.
Holding it down. AJ, you been killing it, man.
AJ's the Tony Yayo of podcasting right now. You're holding it down.
You been killing it, man. Like I said earlier, man, salute to you and Geoff. Y'all been holding it down.
Definitely.
Thanks, guys, for hanging out, man. All right, then shout out to chat and see you all next Thursday. I'm not here next Thursday, but Geoff, Queen will be here. I don't know if Jerrell,
I'll be here.
I know y'all be here. So, all right, peace out, everybody.
Peace.
Sister, you one of a kind.
Yes.
Sister, it's time you
That's
shine. Dope Soul.
Where you at?
Dope Soul.